All right, welcome to this video on ratios. I'm going to talk about what a ratio is, what a part-to-part ratio is, what a part-to-whole ratio is, and how do those relate to fractions and percents. All right, so let's start here. We are on page, I believe, 13. Let me move that window so we don't see it. Well, might be too late. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me just double check. 13. No, I'm sorry, we were on page 12. So we first learned about ratios on page 12. We looked at the situation where he's got 3 parts blue to 2 parts yellow. All right, now we can write this 2 different ways, blue parts to yellow parts or yellow parts to blue parts. All right, those would be what we call a part-to-part ratio. Now what's a ratio? It's a comparison of 2 quantities. All right, yes, it uses division, but the idea is we're comparing 2 quantities. So in this case, blue to yellow or yellow to blue, or blue to total, because total is another quantity, right? It's not a specific quantity, not as specific as blue or yellow, but it still represents a quantity. So blue parts to total or yellow parts to total. So those are what we call part-to-whole ratios, right? Part to part to whole. Okay? So we wrote some specific part-to-part ratios. All right? So basically we took this and we put numbers to it. So we got 3 blues to 2 yellows in this situation, right? Because there's 3 blues and 2 yellows. And then there are 2 yellows to 3 blues. Same thing, just change the order. Part-to-whole ratios, 3 blue to 5 total. Now how do we get 5? Well, add them up, right? We have 3 blue, 2 yellow, that makes 5 altogether. So it's 3 blue to 5 total, or 2 yellow to 5 total. All right? The difference is we didn't switch the order, we switched what our part was. In this case, the blue parts, in this case, the yellow parts, but notice the same total number. All right, and we turn the page, we looked at the situation where they're voting on a mascot, and we're going to kind of use this, right? Because they're talking about lions or tigers. So on this next page, we saw, this is on 16, you can write in word form using the word to, right? Or you can use a colon. All right, so 3 votes for tigers to 2 votes for lions. But in fractional form, it would be 3 votes for tigers over 2 votes for lions. They both mean the same thing, all right? It's just one uses a colon, one uses a fraction, or a fraction bar, I should say. All right, so we practiced this. We wrote 3 out of 5 votes were for tigers, okay? So part-to-whole ratio, 3 tigers to 5 total, all right? And then as a fraction, it would be 3 tigers over 5 total. And then, how would it be for lions? Well, it would be 2 lions. Sorry, my writing got a little bit weird there. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Anyway, moving on to 5 total. And then we have 2 lions to 5 total. All right. Oh, I see it. Here's the L. Here's the I. Kind of got swooped down with the dot. Okay, so it does say 2 lions. All right. Sorry, I'll let it go. So 2 lions to 5 total, 2 lions to 5 total. Okay, it's the same ratio, just written in different forms. And then our part-to-part, 3 tigers to 2 lions, 3 tigers over 2 lions. Okay, it's the same idea. All right, and we just switch the order for this box, and then we'd put the lions on top, the tigers on the bottom here. Okay, now, on this page, we're taking a look at how a part-to-part ratio is just that. It is a ratio, okay? But a part-to-whole ratio also looks like a fraction, all right? We have your part out of your total number, all right? Then going a step further, our percent is a part-to-whole ratio where the whole number is equal to 100. Cent means 100, like centuries or cents, like how many cents does it take to make a whole dollar? Those all mean 100. So percent means per 100. So if I have a 35%, it means I have a 35 out of 100. So I could write that as a part-to-whole ratio or fraction. You could write it as a decimal even, or as a ratio of 35 to 100, or 35 colon 100. They all mean the same thing. And in visual form, 35 of these boxes are shaded in out of the 100 total. All right? So these all are really related to each other. Ratios, fractions, percents, they all are related. So what we did is we practiced a little bit. You counted the number of boxes, you put that as a fraction, 45 over 100, and then you turn that into a percent, 45%. And it's pretty repetitive, But the main idea is you count how many you have out of your total, and then you turn that into a percent. It's a part to whole ratio. Okay? For your assignment, okay, this is on page 23. I wanted you to do 3 of the practice problems, so 1, 2, and 3. And then I wanted you to do 3 of the stretch problems, 1, 2, and 3. Now be careful, read the instructions very carefully, because all your information is up here. And notice you should have 2 answers. Write it in colon form and in fractional form. So if you forgot how to do that, I think it was back on page 16, flip back there to see the difference between a colon form and a fractional form. So each one of these should have 2 answers. They'll have the same numbers, but they'll have different answers, or they'll be written in different form. Okay, same thing here. Read the instructions very carefully. And write a ratio for each and identify it as part to whole or part to part. All right, thanks for watching the video. We'll talk to you, or see you next time.